I'm sharing my screen. If you are able to see my screen, just confirm me. Okay. You are able to see my screen, right?
No, sir.
No, not yet.
Yes, sir.
Now
Okay,
we
perfect.
can.
Now, shall I reshare?
I
Are
can
you
see
able to
it,
see
sir.
my notepad? Are you able to see my notepad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, perfect then. Now. Okay, so as we already connected in your classroom, so if you remember, like, so this is Satish. Okay, so as we already spoke more on like what we need to learn and what we need to upgrade, so directly I'm coming to the concept. Okay, so here this workshop is mainly, as we already mentioned, so it's purely talks about Python programming workshop. Okay, so the our core focus will be in this session is the learning the Python programming. Okay, so that means end of the this workshop you may be in a situation that you should be write a program, at least fundamental programs or basic understanding of the program. That is expectation. Okay, so prerequisite, there should not be anything like if you have the basic any programming, mean to say any IT concept knowledge, that is enough. Even though if you doesn't have anything, that is also fine, because we'll start with the foundational steps initially, then we'll gradually increase the level of programming. Okay, but my major focus would be the writing the programs using different concepts or using the different logics what we have in the interview basis. And also my primary focus would be on this workshop to enhance the skills even to clear the interview in the Python. Like example, in future, if you're attending any interview with respect to Python, so generally what the people will ask the questions in Python, that also will cover as part of this workshop. So that will give you a kind of a base path for the interview preparation also with respect to Python. Okay, so that is also will be covered here. So the primary focus, first one will cover core Python or the advanced Python, what we call generally, but Python simply I can call, which includes all the topics. And the second one, interview preparation. That means if you put the Python in your resume, what are the questions you may expect from the interviewer and how to answer that. So that also will be covered as part of this session. And the last one, tasks. Okay, so whatever the topics generally I will be cover, like we will give the tasks on that, and some of the examples we will explain, and some of the questions you may do at your home as a practice. Okay, you cannot consider as like assignment, or you cannot take it as a something burden to you. It's a kind of opportunity to enhance your programming by performing the examples. That's it. Okay, but it's not like, as I mentioned, right, mandatory, but if you are doing, it will give you more knowledge on that. Okay, and coming to the like the workshop, all our plan, these three topics will be covered. Okay, and now coming to the technologies, as I mentioned, if you want to run the Python programs, if you want to start programming, or if you want to run the program which we written in the any editor, any notepad, we should use first of all Python. So that is what we call Python interpreter. Okay, so first we need to sorry, the interpreter. Okay, so first we need to install the Python interpreter in your machine to make it execute the Python programs. So before going to next bit, I will give a brief intro about this one who doesn't have any basic knowledge in IT. Maybe it will give you a kind of understanding. So what is interpreter, or how it will be useful for our execution. Okay, so basically whenever you are going to be writing any program or any in any language, not only Python, in any language, basically we'll write in the English, as you know, like generally C or C++, .NET or Java, Python, whatever the programming languages in recent days, if you observe that, so that all we are going to be writing in general our language called English. Okay, but fortunate thing is, yes, as a human being, we can easily understand what we are writing in English. But unfortunate thing is, system cannot understand directly what we are typing in English, because machine is a kind of electronic device. It's not like a human being. It cannot understand our natural languages, first of all. Okay. It does not understand Hindi or Telugu or English, whatever it is. What we are speaking, that cannot understand by the mission, because it's a purely electronic device. So then what it will understand? So purely it will understand a traditional language called binary language, that all you know, right? Zeros and ones. So mission, any mission, not only laptop, any mission can understand a binary format only. It cannot understand our natural language. But as I mentioned, it is very difficult to write our program. Let's take example. If I want to say hi, simply I can write 2 letters in English. But if I want to write same hi in ones and zeros, I need to write like this. How many you know, right? One character is equal to 64 bits. And now if you see the latest laptops, it will be 128 bit. That means you need to type all the combination of ones and zeros. If you take the 64-bit machine, mostly we are using our Windows operating system will be 64-bit. In initial days at my learning days, there will be a 32-bit machine. Now mostly everyone, I think Windows 11, Windows 10, 99% will come with the 64-bit only, until unless you personally degrade it to 32-bit. Okay, so that means each character will be 64-bit, means totally we should write 128 bits. Bit mean 1 and 0 combinations. Okay, to say the simple word called hi. So by this only you can understand, just to say hi, this many characters if you type, just if you just imagine that if you want to write a program or application, how many ones and zeros we need to type. Okay, that is the first problem. Second problem, even by hard and by doing some hard work and by preparing very well, we type it, but unfortunately after typing, really we don't know is it really correctly we typed or not, because the combination of ones and zeros does not give you a meaningful. So until unless you execute it, you cannot understand whether it is executable or not, whether it will be right or not. We cannot assure that. So again, it's a problem to debug or to understand the issue what we are typing. So that's why, as in olden days, like almost in 1970s. Okay, so when the C 1972, if you remember, the C came into the picture, 69 to 72 in between C language. So by that time, so they introduced a new concept called translator. Instead of directly writing the mission codes, so initially beats, and then we have a commands like add, mul, something like that we call assemble language. But after once C came into the market, as we know, it's the one of the revolution in the IT industry. I can say that C language. Okay, after C only this all they came, C++, Java, that all. But once C came into the picture, they came with a concept called translator. So translator means instead of writing the ones and zeros, we can directly write our English. Okay, so where the system internally can convert our English instructions into system understandable instructions, and it will execute over there, and it will generate the response. Again, the response will back convert into English. So this process generally will take care about the translators in any language. Okay, so the translators only we called technically two words: compiler, interpreter. Okay, so compiler means it will convert all the lines at a time. Okay, if you have the 100 lines, it will convert 100 lines at a time. But whereas interpreter, the basic significance and the difference is it will convert line by line instead of the entire code at a time. So that means if you have the 5 lines of code, once the first line execution completed, then only it will go for second line. Once the second line complete, then only it will go for third line. Like that, it will convert line to line execution, unlike the compiler. Okay, so now why I told you this whole story. So now Python, if you see there, I written the word called Python interpreter. That means Python language internally using an interpreter to convert your language. It is not using compiler. So that means unlike C and Java, Python is not a compiler based language. It is an interpreter based language. It means that 2 points you need to remember. One is Python will execute your program line by line. That means if you have the issue in the line number 1, if you have the error in the line number 1, it does not execute the line number 2 and remaining lines. It will stuck there until unless you fix that line, that it won't execute remaining lines. So clearly it is giving an instruction by instruction execution. You have to fix it by instruction. Second point, when we are using interpreter, there is no compilation. That means we will reducing one step. We'll go for directly execution rather than compilation. So why I'm telling, if you know the C Java, whenever you want to run or see the output in Java or C language, first you need to compile the program, then you need to execute the program. Okay. But in Python, not like that. We can directly execute the program and the interpreter will internally convert the code and will show the directly output. You don't require to manually interpret the code and manually translate the code. That will take care by Python itself. Okay. So finally, one of the point here we need to understand is Python is a scripting language definitely, and it is a interpreter based language. Okay. So that's the first point I want to tell you. This is clear for everyone, or anyone have any doubt? So for that reason, first we need to install the Python interpreter. Okay. This we need to do first step. Any doubt as of now? If you have doubt, you can raise your voice, or you can raise your hand, anything. If not, say no also. As I mentioned in the class, if you remember, it should be interactive. It's not like one man show. Okay. So if you say, if you're interested, if you're, I mean to say, understand, say yes. Yes, I don't have any doubts. Maybe one or two or three people at least. Maybe first question respond three people. Second question respond some other three people. It's not like that every time one person only has to answer. It should be cycle. You can use that so that I can understand at least you people are following or you people are listening. That's what my intention. Yeah. Come back to the question again.
Hi, sir.
So any questions?
Hi,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vivek, sir,
Sure.
could you
Yeah.
repeat
Hi,
again
Vivek.
what do you mean compiler and interpreter?
Yeah. See, basically, whenever we are using any high level language in any programming, to make it understand to the computer or any machine, we need to convert into low level language called binary. Okay. So for that, we generally use a software or application called translator. So that translators we have in the currently market two types. One is interpreter, another one compiler. So compiler is a translator which will convert all whatever the lines you written in the program at one time. That means let's consider you have written 5 lines of code in the program. Okay. So now a equal to, assume that simple program I will write to make it understand everyone. A equal to 0. Okay. Let's take b equal to 1. Very simple program I will tell you. And there will be a simple example, c equal to a plus b. Okay. And now I want to print it. Sorry, simply 4 lines only. Okay. Now these are the 4 lines written as a program. Okay. Now to make it executable, when you go for compiler, first all these 4 lines will convert into zeros and ones and will given to the executor. Now execution engine will execute the whatever the program, and if definitely if there is an errors in your program, it will show the errors. Otherwise, it will give the output. So simply it will give the output as a, as we know, 1. Okay. But the core difference, as I mentioned, compiler will convert all these 4 lines at a time. That I mean single time. So it will save our time. And also assume that one more case I will tell you. In a equal to 0, there is a one error. Okay, here we have one error, and in the third line also we have one error. How many errors we have in this program? Totally 2 errors. If you are executing this program using compiler, both the errors will shown at a time. That means we can understand or we can see that both errors at a time, so that we can resolve them at a time. But in the interpreter, will come to the interpreter, it will execute line by line. That means first it will execute this line. Okay. So if there is an issue, it will stop the execution. It will throw this error to the customer, I mean that user. Once you fix this issue, that means if there is no error, then only it will go to the second line. For example, in this case, I resolved the first error. Now it will start the second line. Yes, there is no issue. It will come, I mean that convert the code. Now again it will come to the third line. Now it will raise again one more error. There is a problem in your instruction. So now again you need to fix it. Likewise, you need to wait till that line to be executed. Whether that will be successfully executed or not, we may not show that. So that is the I can say drawback. Again, that is the advantage. Why advantage? Because it will go for line by line, so it will cleanly scan the code and give the accurate results comparatively a compiler. But it will take a little bit more time comparatively compiler, because it execute line by line cleanly and it will throw the error line by line only. And it always follows top down approach. Because of the trace only, it follows top down. That means if you execute the program, it will start from line 1 and it end with the line 4. It won't go down to I mean it's a bottom up, unlike C language. If you remember, C is a bottom up approach. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you clear the difference between interpreter and compiler.
Sir, thank you.
Yeah, good. Any other
Sir,
questions to me? Yeah.
So what do you mean by high level language?
Yeah, see, basically we have low level and high level. We are calling general language in programming. Low level means just before I told you, right, binary language, like where we are writing the code in terms of ones and zeros. Like you may ask, like your latest, your generation may not see that kind of devices, but in olden days we have, even in 90s also we have punch machines. If anybody heard that, I'm not sure. There is a punch machine. So punch machine means when user wants to give some instruction to the machine, they need to punch it. Punch means they can hardly kick the machine. It will give a instruction like ones and zeros to the internal hardware, and it will perform the operation. So that is purely how we are communicating with the low level language. It's very hard, and also it takes huge time to give the instruction to the machine. Now coming to the high level means just like our programming, what currently we are using, we call these are all high level, like including C also. C, C++, Java, .NET, Python, and COBOL. These are all high level. Why? Because we are writing the instructions of the programs in our traditional language called English. That's why we called it as a high level, and it is a human readable language. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Any other questions to me? Good. So now, after installing the Python interpreter, the second important component we require to install is editor, any editor. Okay. What we call generally, what is meant by editor means, yes, Python interpreter will help you to execute our program. Okay. So whatever we install the Python interpreter, so definitely we have to install, and yes, it is ready for execution. But to execute it, what we require, we have to write the program, right? So where we will write the program? So that is the place. So some application we required, or some tool we required to type our program. Okay. So the very basic fundamental editor, right? What is that? Anybody? Fundamental editor in every mission. So if you purchase a new laptop, by default will get an editor. It may be any mission. So what is that editor? Anyone can type in the chart, or you can voice out also. What is the basic editor we may get? No ideas. Can anyone? What is the editor you
Notepad.
may get? Exactly, Notepad, correct. Text editor. So by default, that is what currently I'm using. Okay. So by default, whenever we are writing, I mean, we are getting any laptop, by default, we have a one text editor, by default, Notepad. But the drawback of Notepad editor is, yes, you can write the program in the Notepad also. I know you people are know this, right? No, in Notepad also we can type a Python or Java program, and we can save that file. I will show you that also, how to type the program in Notepad, how to execute in the interpreter. I will show you. But the basic problem with the Notepad is, first problem, it doesn't have any alignments or any styles. So you should align everything manually. You should write the program proper way. It does not give you any support for that. And second, it does not integrate it with the your interpreter what so far we installed. Like example, we installed the Python interpreter already in the mission, but it cannot integrate with this. So to integrate to link both of them as a one point, again we need to use another component called command prompt, CMD prompt. So in CMD prompt, again we need to tag them, and we have to execute the program. So it's the additional work we have to do. So that's why we are not going to be using, or even real time or project or any company, we are not using notepads to type the program. It's very difficult to use it also. So that's why we are going for advanced editors. We have so many free source, not even paid. Keep aside paid, there is a lot many editors. But very popular, very commonly used in the IT industry editors are there, that I will list out. You can maybe practice. First one, very common one, with respect to Python I'm speaking, that is a PyCharm. Okay. So PyCharm is one of the very professional and common editor in the IT market to work with the Python programs. And in PyCharm, again, we have two versions. One is paid version and free version. So you should use the free version. It's a lifetime free. We called it is a community edition. Okay. There is an enterprise version and a community edition. We have to download the community edition, which is a free of cost for lifetime to run the Python programs. Okay. So this is the one of the very popular editor to work with, to write the program, to execute the interpreter. So here the advantage of this PyCharm is, it is a self evaluation editor, means it will give you a more free zone to type the programs and more stylish panel we have, and also it is self-integrated with the Python interpreter. So it will a kind of a combination of all things what we require, like even debugger tools also we have. When we go for Notepad, we don't have debugging, but in the Python we have debugging tools like that. And to the computation of Python, very code you may use VS Code, Visual Studio Code. This is also commonly used editor for all tech, not only for Python. VS Code can be used for Java, .NET, Python, C, and HTML, everything. For everything, it's a generic editor you can use for everything. Okay, and come back to the again. I'm going back to the our Python related editors. So VS Code is a generic editor, and after that we have Jupyter Notebook. Okay, it is also open source. Okay, so Jupyter Notebook. Okay, it is also commonly used editor for Python, and after that Spider we have, which is more advanced, what you can say, the tool where it will have the internally multiple tools to support the machine learning, data engineering, that all it supported Spider. Okay, like similar to MATLAB, mostly we used for data science projects. Okay, and there is a Sublime Text and Atom and Idle, like it's a built-in editor with the Python itself. When you install the Python interpreter, Python along with the Python will get an editor called IDLE, integrated editor. But again, I'm telling, right, it is also seems to be looks like a notepad. It doesn't have much capabilities to work with the IDLE. So that is the reason we are preferring PyCharm Community Edition as a common editor for the Python working sessions or Python practice also. But it is not restricted to use the PyCharm only. If you are already habituated with VS Code, yes, happily you can work with VS. If you are working with Jupyter Notebook, yes, you can work, because the syntax, the program doesn't change editor to editor. Editor is a place, just a place where you are typing the program, but the logic is not depends on the editor. It's a depends on the Python or your. That's why editor is your choice, but I am recommending PyCharm, and I am mostly using PyCharm in our regular classes. Okay, any other doubts till that? So first point is we have to install the Python, and then second one is we need to install the editor, which is called PyCharm. This also I will show you tomorrow, like how to install the Python latest version, and then we will go for PyCharm downloading and installation. Yeah, any other questions till this? Great, I am not having any questions too. And now third one, for core Python, we require to, as I mentioned in the class, whatever the tasks are we doing or whatever the programs are we practicing or doing, if I want to see your work, or if you want to share to your friends, assume that you don't depends on the Gmail or a pen drive or something offline transfer mechanism. We have a great opportunity to work or collab with our teammates or with our friends or with our colleagues, whatnot. So if you want to share your work with other people, or if you want to see the other people work without hesitate, without installing anything, or without paying 1 rupee, yes, there is a very wonderful tool which we have in the market called GitHub. Okay, so GitHub is a repository, a central repository where you can maintain the multiple projects, even in the private mode and the public mode. Public mode means you can share the project, anybody can see your work without your permission. If you maintain your project in the private mode, yes, with your permission they can see the data. So that is how the GitHub is given, and they given the almost 15 GB data with free of cost. More than that or more than the storage we may pay per, but generally as a student, I'm to be frank, I'm telling 15 GB is more than enough for your programs. Okay, so we have to register the GitHub. It's not installation. I mean to say, don't require to download and install. We have to register into this site. It's a website basically. So in this, if you register as like Google, we will get a 15 GB data. Okay, from there we can use it. But how to register and how we will create a project over there and how to link this GitHub account to our editor called PyCharm or VS Code. PyCharm basically we are using, right? So that also will show here. So once you link that, what is the advantage I will tell you. If you are using the GitHub manually, you require to every time log into the GitHub, you need to upload and download. But if you link the GitHub to PyCharm, automatically whenever you are typing your code into the PyCharm, yes, the beauty here is it will allow you to commit the code from there itself. You don't require to manually upload or download it. It's directly you can just by single command, it will automatically push all your PyCharm code so that it will store permanently, even though if you lose the PyCharm in your machine, or if you lose the program in your machine, yes, the backup will be always in the GitHub. So in future also you can refer it and you can have it permanently. Okay, it might help you to increase your resume value also. Okay, but to communicate like that from the PyCharm to directly GitHub or to your machine, like whatever laptop you are using, from laptop to GitHub, because it's an online website. If you want to go to open the link and open log in and do some actions, right? But as I mentioned, without that I want to interact directly from our machine itself. So for that we require a software called Git. So a Git is a version control system, okay, which will help you to maintain your day-to-day operations into GitHub by using this software. That is the software called Git. So totally these four basically we will use to work with Python. Okay, and after that there is a concept called modules, but later on we'll explain this part. Modules means a collection of libraries, or library I can say that, a collection of functions. So that means whenever you want to use, like example, pandas, so pandas is a module which we have to install and we have to run it. But this part I will explain few days later on. First we will clear with Python fundamentals, like what is Python fundamentals will cover, like Python variables, operators, and conditional statements, looping statements, collections, strings. So these are all we called as fundamentals. Once this is completed, then we'll move to a next step called functions, object-oriented concepts, and file handling, exception handling. So these all topics will cover as a Python. And at the end of the session, I will give you an intro on the how to install a custom mod, I mean that existing module like pandas, numpy, or anything, and how to import in our application. I will show you. By that I will sign off the class. That is how we are planning for Python sessions for workshop. Okay. And end of the session, as I mentioned, who are regularly attending and who are regularly participating in the sessions and our classes assignments, we will give the completion of certification for the Python workshop. Okay. So this is the plan of execution of our entire program. Okay. So now I'm giving today, I think the class is planned for till 18:45, but I'm holding the class for now. And today you can ask me, maybe if anybody not joined on that day in the college classroom, you can ask me, you can interact with me. And as I mentioned, right, so tomorrow we're starting this part, first installation of environments. Of these all installations tomorrow I will complete all the four in the tomorrow session. So don't miss tomorrow session, it will be very important. And once you clear with the installation and everything, we'll also run the sample program. So tomorrow we'll also do the one sample program execution to make sure that everything is executed properly. So Monday onwards, we'll start our Python concepts. So Monday, we have the first class called Python fundamentals. Any doubts or any questions till this point? As I mentioned, right, feel free to ask me anything. If you don't have the questions, I will maybe just 2 more minutes I will talk. Like yeah, as I mentioned, right, I know I introduced myself on that day, so I don't want to more on me. But I'm not touched more on the my company on that day, so I will give you a brief intro what we are doing and what we are giving the services. Okay, so the company we called our company is called as FratelloInnoTech. It's a private limited. Okay, it's a completely MCA registered, as I mentioned. It's a ISO certified company. Okay, ISO certified, and also MSME certified. Sorry, and Skill India certified. I mean that registered, AICT registered. Okay, and MCA registered. So these are all accreditation what we are having by the company. So which will help you to strengthen your resume by putting the Fratello into your resume. Okay, and coming to the services, we are primarily going for two activities. One is industry level trainings, okay, as I mentioned, so which will include offline, online, and corporate trainings, like which we are trying to the company employees for the latest trend of technologies. And also, as we, like you, we are also going to be teach the college going students and college students to fill the gap between the industry expectation to the what student learning. So that is the major part of trainings. And also we are involving in the development part. So where generally we have mobile application development, web application development, and custom software development, and also we are involved in the machine learning application building. So these are the major works what we are doing. So mostly trainings and development. So along with that, definitely as we are into the like placement services and even student career counseling services, that all we are doing. Okay, so this is brief about ourselves. And also, as I mentioned, we are more really talking on the Python. Why? Because it is current usage of the Python is very much high when comparatively other languages. If you type top 10 language, top 5 language in 2026, you will get Python as one of the language. And after Python, you may see the JavaScript or Java, whatever it is. Okay. Yeah. Still any more questions, please ask me. I'm stopping my sharing, and I'm going for main screen. Yeah, will you upload the classes into you back? I think someone asked the question regarding the backup. Okay, will you upload this class into your tube, sir? Yes. We will give the all recordings to you. Like it may take some. We are taking the evening, right? So mostly next day morning you will get the link for the backup class mostly. But we are providing the backup recordings for every class to make it future reference for you people. Any other questions to me? And also, as I mentioned, right, please interact and please open your mouth. I can say that because see, it cannot be like simply one man or one way communication. It should be always both. Sir, for how many days do we have this workshop? I am planning 30 days, Nana, this workshop. I am planning for 30 days to take the continuously workshop. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, hi, sir. Good evening. My name is
Good
Vivek.
evening. Yeah, hi, Nana. Tell me.
Sir, the question is apart from the Python webinar.
Okay.
Sir, what is the main reason for layoffs, sir? Right now in this.
Yeah, see, as I mentioned, right, current IT industry, how it will be is three things you need to understand. First one, with respect experienced people, with respect to freshers. Okay. So now because of the impact on the taxation from the USA, okay, because you know, right, Trump recently increased the tax tariffs to the India. Okay, it almost increased to 50%. And the second point is after corona, like almost 2019 to 23, I can say that these 3 years are very good in the IT market. Coming to India, mostly I'm talking about India, we have so many projects we got from the different out countries like USA, UK, and Australia. But unfortunately, from 2024 onwards, that number of projects intake is drastically reduced. I mean, say decreased. And secondly, this because of this taxation impact, and the profit ratio decreased. So, and also the current market in the indicators or indexes also not in the very good in the shape. So because of this all reasons, every company wants to cut off their expenditure or reduce their expenditure, or what you call margin value, I can say that. So for that, the straightforward option is reduce the salaries, because the major expenses in any company they're putting is salaries. Obviously, see, for maintenance, for company building, it may mostly they may have the rentals and maintenance. It will very less. I think overall budget it will be 5 to 10% only, but remaining almost 70 to 80% of the budget of every year for every company will go to the salaries. So the best option or the straight option they are getting into the reducing the people. So that is what the basic or fundamental reason for the layoffs. for the senior or experienced people. And again, I'm telling this layoff is applicable for, again, see, I'm telling with respect to company. Okay, now I will tell you with respect to candidate. This layoff is only applicable when you are not in the position, when you are not in the situation where you need to grab the opportunity. Means the layoff will only applicable, always remember, the last candidates. So it's not like top performers. It will only go for average performers, least performers. My intention not to shut down the company. I want to reduce the cost of burden. So that means they're filtering the candidates who are not really wealth for the company, not really worth for the company. They will terminate. So that means if you are in the top, at least above average performance list, you for your job there is won't be any problem in any company. It is not today or tomorrow. That is a what you can say that. Understand, you need to understand on that. That means we need to upskill ourselves every day. We need to be vocal and presenting ourselves, and we need to clear with our work what we assigned. And also we should be always an asset to the company, not the burden to the company. That means, yes, Satish, yeah, really he's very good and appreciation. If he is part of our team, yes, we'll get more projects. That kind of impression we have to give. That is important. And coming to the freshers ratio, now, if you see the outside market, I can say there is no total, even 1 to 5% companies also not ready to give the opportunity to the fresher. Again, I'm telling there is a lakhs of jobs in the market. There is no way the word called we don't have openings for freshers. In every company, there is opening for freshers, but the problem here is that what current organization expecting. See, in previously 10 days back, if you know the core Java, you will get a fresher job. That's it. As my time, at my joining, I know only core Java, SQL, HTML. That's it. After joining the company, only I learned everything. But now that's not like that. That trend is changed. Now, before that, only company is expecting from you a full stack environment understanding, at least basic cloud knowledge, at least basic AI knowledge, basic AI knowledge. So these all new skills they're expecting from the freshers. But the problem here, no one is acquiring knowledge. Only they're getting the that 85% certificate, 75% certificate. That doesn't make any sense to the company. The company is expecting logical skills, technical strong knowledge, and at least you should be able to manage basic things. You should be self-learner situation. Like if I'm giving a Udemy account to you, just to give an example. If I'm giving Udemy account to you, if I'm giving assign some courses to you, you should able to position to acquire the knowledge and start the project. You cannot expect someone to teach, someone to guide you in the company. That is not in the current market, because no one has such that much of time to train you and to feed you like current session. So that's why I'm keep on repeating for the many students in college time, utilize the trainings, because see, like this you never expect in the after the college go after the company, because everyone has their own priorities, right? So you should utilize this time for understanding and learning. Okay, but this is the whole things going on in the background. Yeah, I hope you understand.
So thank you so much for this.
Yeah. Any other questions to me? So that's what even last time also mentioned clearly. If you want to become an IT professional or IT engineer, so just plan now itself and plan accordingly the latest trend of technologies, and do at least 1 or 2 or 3 or at least live projects and internships or some kind of experiments on that. Don't sit in the theoretical part. Okay, as like others. That's it. Yeah. Any other questions? Last minute questions? We're on top of the time. So if you have any questions, we'll wait maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, we can wind up the class. And tomorrow I will connect by same time. So we'll show you how to install all the things stuff. Okay. Yeah, before closing the class, like maybe I just want to hear some feedbacks from you. Like, is the class is okay? Am I going fast, or am I? You want me reduce the fast, little slow, or what is your feedback? Maybe at least 2 to 3 people can comment on that. If you're not able to speak up, type in the chat also. I'm happy to hear that. Is this okay? Or same frequency is okay to understand what I'm speaking? If you're not able to understand, doesn't make any advantage to you people, right? That's what I'm asking. Is this okay, or any comments or any feedback? God's grace, someone is thumbs up at least. Are you people there? Okay, then we can leave today. Enjoy. So tomorrow we'll meet by same time. Okay, bye bye. Take care. Can you explain
you,
which
sir.
flows
Have
are
a good
okay?
day.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Sure. As for Kalpana, like bit slow. Definitely. Tomorrow onwards we'll go for a little slow compared to today. Okay, bye bye. Take care. Then I'm leaving. Okay, bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Yeah, bye bye. Take care.